Integrity and character go hand in hand. Your character is the sum total result of all your choices and decisions to the present moment. It has been said that if honesty didn't exist, it would have to be invented as the surest way of becoming wealthy. Also, as the surest way of making a great life. Your character, your integrity, is your most precious asset. Nature has constructed us in such a way that we are only happy and contented inside when we are living up to our highest ideals. Shakespeare said, "To thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day. Thou canst not then be false to any man." To thine own self be true. So integrity begins with your relationship with yourself. Peter Uspensky, the Russian philosopher, mathematician, and metaphysician, said many years ago that psychology begins with oneself and with the study of lying. Uspensky explained that man is a lying organism, that human beings go to great lengths to protect themselves from reality, and they live enmeshed in a web of lies. They claim to be well-informed in areas where they are obviously ignorant. They have grandiose ideas about their own talents and abilities, and they simultaneously denigrate the talents and abilities of others, especially those who are successful. Ambrose Bierce in the Devil's Dictionary said that happiness is that condition experienced upon seeing the misfortune of a friend. There's nothing that perturbs people more than to see someone that they know becoming successful. Psychologists have various names for behaviors that people engage in to avoid facing reality. Names like repression, when we push it under or push it away, projection, when we project our own negative qualities onto others, delusion, when we live in a world of our own making, and especially denial. Denial of reality, the refusal to face the truth about the parts of ourselves and our lives that we feel are undesirable, is probably the major single cause of mental and psychosomatic illness. All denial causes tremendous stress, and if the stress is not dealt with at the mental level, it usually erupts physically. Denial occurs when we engage in face-saving mental exercises to avoid confronting the realities of our lives. Every act of denial is a form of lying to ourselves, and the more we deny, the more we get out of harmony and lose our peace of mind. In fact, your peace of mind, that sensation of inner calm and tranquility, is your finest barometer of what is right and good and true for you. You will always be at peace when you are living, acting, and talking in harmony with your innermost convictions. Whenever you feel unhappy or out of sorts, for some reason, stop and ask yourself, what is it in my life that I'm not facing? What is it in my life that I'm not facing? I found as a young man, and less as the years go by, that very often we feel unhappy and uncomfortable when there's something unpleasant in our lives that we're not facing or not dealing with. It could be an unpleasant relationship, or a job that's not working out, or worries about money, or an investment that we made. And what happens is, by repressing it into the subconscious, it causes us to feel very, very uncomfortable and disrupts our days and sometimes disturbs our nights. Ask, what is the worst it could possibly be? What is the worst it could possibly be? Whenever we find ourselves in a job, or a relationship, or a situation that is not right for us, we begin to feel uncomfortable and dissatisfied. And what you have to do is be your own psychologist and delve into yourself and look at your life and say, what is it that I'm not facing? Harry Brown, in his book, How I Found Freedom in an Unfree World, says that there's always a price that you can pay to be free of any source of anxiety. There's always a price you can pay to be free, and you always know what the price is. The only question is, will you pay it or not? And my advice in my seminars is, pay the price. Pay it sooner rather than later, because it's inevitable anyway. Many major problems that make us sick and ruin our lives could have been dealt with much, much earlier if we had been willing to face the problem honestly and straightforwardly. The solution to any uneasy feeling, any situation of denial in your life, is to confront the situation head-on and resolve it one way or another. And this is something that often takes tremendous courage. Often we live a lie because we rationalize that somehow it will benefit others, and we have no right to be selfish. However, the truth is that you never do anybody any lasting good by compromising your integrity. Couples that stay together when the love has gone out of the marriage for the sake of the children find that they hurt their children more than anything they could possibly imagine. There is nothing that so undermines and destroys the character and personality of a child as to grow up in a loveless home. It's always far better that the child be with one parent who loves them completely rather than two parents who don't love each other at all. The real reason people stay in a bad situation is usually fear of some kind. The terrible thing about giving into your fears is that eventually giving into your fears becomes a habit, and you no longer have the strength of character to act in your own best interests. A man or woman who resigns themselves to a situation that does not bring them peace and contentment is doomed to a life of unhappiness and underachievement, and you see people like that around you all the time. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Dare to live the life you have dreamed for yourself. Go forward and make your dreams come true." It requires great strength of character to live a life of perfect honesty, but integrity is essential to self-esteem, and self-esteem is the foundation of all success and all high achievement.